Can I add to it?
No, please.
I want to do a comparison because I feel
Yeah.
like the business owners that we meet with and the men, it's like they don't even know how to identify the cost of workaholism, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't see the actual cost until 20, 30 years down the road and you're wondering, where did I go wrong? So as someone who's walked through this journey, can you just identify the cost of the workaholism and how it presents itself?
Yeah, and I'll start it with that first part, which is it was crazy because my first therapy experience, I'm pouring out my guts to this person, and they're like, "Can I just stop you right there?" And I was like, "Yep." And they're like, "Do you know the difference between vulnerability and telling on yourself?" And I was like, "I guess I do not." And they were like, "When you're telling on yourself, you're giving me all the right information, but it's from your perspective." If you're vulnerable, and it's so that you can control the way that I perceive. Vulnerability is I give you all the information and you let me make my own decision. And I was like, that was what I needed. Because I would. In ministry, it's like you're telling on yourself. You know, guys, I did this thing and then I wrap it in a bow. And now it's got like a nice preacher bow on it and it makes me look good. Look how humble I am. Look how I didn't just give you the information and then turn off the faucet and let you make the decision about what you think about. And I think that's the key even to the question you're asking, which is the way you define your workaholism is ask the people around you. That's how you'll know. And we don't do that. I know men that are like, it's so hard. I work like 70, 80 hours a week. It's so hard. No, what's really hard is having that 8-minute conversation with your wife.
Yeah.
And that's why you're avoiding it. If it wasn't that hard, then why wouldn't you just have it? Why wouldn't you have that 20-minute call with a 20-minute conversation with your wife? I say it in ministry land all the time where it's like, I know plenty of men who fly 3,000 miles around the world to minister to strangers, but can't walk 30 feet across their own living room to minister to their own family. We've determined that if I'm a man really does determine that if I'm working hard, I'm doing it right. Yeah. But I would ask, which direction are you working? So we do this exercise a lot with men where I'm like, I want the 40-year plan. So we're going to do where you are, 40 years old, every 10 years. So we're going to go 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. So if you're 40, we're going to do 50, 60, 70, 80, and we're going to get you all the way towards that end of that life. Because a lot of the guys we work with, more in midlife right now. We're trying to get way younger. But the idea is right now we got some 30-year-old guys and I'm going like, okay, map this out next 10 years. Who do you want to be in 10 years? Like describe that person to me. Who do you want? No, not a single man. I'm describing who you want to be, not what you want to do, not what you want to build. Who do you want to? And when you get down to the brass tacks, because identity, I think maybe it was Nowen or I don't remember who it was that said it specifically, but they said the immature form of identity is what I do, what I have, and what others think of me. So that's the immature form of identity. A true sense of identity is who are you really, what do you believe, and what do you value? What do I really believe? And that's like a scary place of honesty for most people. But so what do I believe is the question, because you're going to reveal that by the man you want to become. So if I can get you to tell me who you want to become, then I can work backwards to get you to uncover what you really believe about yourself and your value. Because some men get stuck in going, well, I'm going to list all the things I'm going to do. No, we're not going to focus on who do you want to do. What we want to do. Who do you want to become? Now, once we get that, then you go, what do you need today in order to become that person in 10 years? What do you need? What would you require in your life to become that? And we don't let men skirt anything. It's not like, well, I want to be a good dad. Well, who doesn't, man? Like, give me some details. What does that even mean? Right. So I'm like, tell me what a good father looks like. Mm-hmm. What does a good father do? Well, he's patient. He's present. And they'll give me the list. And I'll go, okay, can you work 80 years and then define yourself as the good father you just described? Can you work 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week? Can you have all these things? No. Okay, so now what's the cost? If you can, what's the cost?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have to do a, cost analysis and you go like, what's the cost of becoming this? And is it that valuable to my family that I become these? And if so, how do we build the life we want, not the life we're told we're supposed to have? Mm-hmm. Because I guess this is what I would end it with in terms of that discussion, is I would go, the problem is that We've misdefined success for so long that men in business and in ministry and all over the planet, all over the place, in all varying degrees of society and financial stability and all the other stuff, right? Like, we have misdefined success for so long that nobody knows what they're shooting for anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I built the business, or I built the ministry, or I built the thing. Look how successful I am. And their marriages are crap. Like, their family doesn't know them. And I tell people this all the time, like, no, you're building an inheritance, not a legacy.
Right.
Those are two different things. And if you want a legacy, you have to live a legacy. If you want to leave a legacy, you have to live a legacy, which means if I'm going to build a $10 million plus business, $100 million plus business, a lot of the guys that were around, these guys are on trajectories to be billionaires. We've got guys all over the place that I'm sure like you're working with as well. And I'm like, that is awesome.
It is.
But if you leave the money, but you don't leave the ability to steward it, the lifestyle to steward it, which you have to live. You can't do that once you've earned it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't then by reverse osmosis give your family the tools to then steward that. You have to live it today. So when you leave it tomorrow, they know how to steward it. Or they will just squander it and you don't have legacy anymore. It just fell out the bottom of the bucket and you worked your entire life for it to be gone in one generation.